All right, so we're going to do our reading for the week of September 2nd. And in these readings, like I said, we are pulling cards for all of us for the week ahead. So you have to do your own thinking with this as well, of like how what I'm saying applies to your unique situation. So I'll throw out a couple ideas to everybody, but you'll know what it applies to. And this spread is not my own spread. It comes from Kate at dailytarotgirl.com. So let's find out what our situation card for the week is. All right, we've got the 10 of Pentacles. That's pretty cool. Let's see. So 10 of Pentacles is usually, I mean, 10s are a completion card, but I think of the 10 of Pentacles, it always makes me think of the word legacy. Like, what is the legacy? We're thinking this week about our legacy in some ways, what we want to build for our future, but also thinking about like, what have we already built? Like, what is our current legacy? If we look around at our lives and where we're living and how we're living and the things we've already accomplished or haven't accomplished, like, what is that saying? And then helping us think like more future oriented to like, what do we want our lasting legacy to be? But it's not, this isn't swords energy, so this isn't just like thoughts in our mind. It's pentacles are more tangible, so it's thinking about what we have actually produced in our physical reality. So that to me makes us think about like, what is the legacy right now of our health, the state of our bodies, our homes that we live in, where we're living, what we're doing for a career, if we're planning on or if we already have children or not, like, what do we want to kind of leave behind? Or if we were to die tomorrow, like what would we be leaving behind already? So that's sort of the situation that we're in right now, is really thinking about just legacy, both what we've accomplished so far and what we still want to accomplish. And looking at this particular card too, it also gives off like a very positive vibe and energy. Like, everyone is smiling and looking very like happy and satisfied in this card. So thinking about not just like, because I think it can be really easy sometimes when we're thinking about these larger questions about legacy to kind of look at where we're falling short and what we haven't yet accomplished, where we're lacking. But this 10 of Pentacles is really asking us to look at like, what are we proud of? What are we proud of that we've accomplished? Where have we come from at this point? How far have we gone? And let that lead us to, you know, where we want to continue to go. So you could think about that in terms of any area of Pentacles. Like I said, you could be thinking about your home. You could be thinking about your financial situation or your career, your home life with like the people that you're living with, anything. And maybe you don't know yet, but you'll figure that out this week. But what is going to be our challenge card this week when it comes to legacy and thinking about these ideas? All right. So we've got a swords card here with the Queen of Swords. And this one here looks like a Joan of Arc type of figure. So that's kind of interesting. And the Queen of Swords, when it comes to like the challenge side of things, can be about being a little bit like cold, being a little bit I don't know, when I look at this image and try to look at the negative of it, there seems like a real like self-righteousness about things to a certain extent that we want to avoid. It's just really interesting looking at this card because you can tell like she's on a crusade, like she's on this mission and there's like a single-mindedness going on. So like that's what's coming to me, is that the challenge this week is to avoid like a single-mindedness of just focusing on one particular element of legacy and feeling like that's the thing that we need to zero in on. So we don't want to be looking at just one single aspect of our lives and like zeroing in on that and thinking about like how are we going to improve or like change that in some way, or just thinking about where we've come in that one area. We want to look more big picture and broad, so we want to avoid just focusing on one particular area. And then what is going to help us this week in terms of thinking about legacy? Oh, this is nice. Three of Cups. This is a fun card because this is a card about like socializing, celebration, just kind of having a good time, being really relaxed. But it's about like the people that we care about. Like it's about friendships and having a good time. So looking at these as a whole now, this is really kind of interesting. Just want to move that real quick and have these like all in front of me. Because this Ten of Pentacles also features like a whole family and including two cute like little greyhound dogs as well, plus plants in it. So just thinking about, there's a sense of like thriving here and looking at what is happening around us in our lives, taking some inventory about that. Maybe something has even come to fruition already since it is a 10. So where can we look at around at our lives and be like, hey, like I've really accomplished something really good here. Or just looking at the bigger picture, because we want to avoid like hyper focusing on just one aspect of our lives. But also I feel like now looking at this with the 3, we don't want to get in the habit of thinking about our legacy and the meaning of our lives as, I want to word this right, so give me a minute here, because sometimes it's hard to like find the words. Like I see the things, like the images, and like I know, but I can't always grasp the words, and part of that has to do with like my PMDD. Like it makes it very difficult for me to like communicate and talk at that time. So the vibe is totally different in both of these cards. So whereas in Three of Cups, the thing that we want to bring in for the week that will help us, it's a very relaxed vibe. It's very social. It's fun. It's just relaxed. So this, on the other hand, just feels more weighted and heavy and feeling like you have to kind of like save the world. You have to go big or go home, versus just like a chill family party, or even something as simple as just like low-key hanging out with people that you care about. So I feel like the overall like big picture of this reading is taking inventory of our lives at this point, looking at what we've accomplished or what we haven't accomplished at this point, and thinking about the bigger picture of like what we actually want for our lives. And I think September, especially early September with that back to school energy, is a great time for this, of just looking at like, because the year is starting to like wrap up. We've only got like 4 months left in the year, and back to school time often feels like a new beginning as well, just in a similar kind of way that New Year's kind of does. So it's like a fresh start of like, you know, the kids going back to school, and it's a whole new cycle, a whole new school year cycle. So it is a real good time to just kind of already start thinking about, all right, what has happened so far this year, and what do we need to do to sort of wrap up the rest of this year? There's that kind of energy to it, and just looking at like, hey, what kind of year have I had so far? And what do I want to do next? but we don't want it to be this like big deal thing. We don't want it to just be this like self-righteous or this like I have to like achieve something so amazing, this like magnum opus type of thing. We don't have to like make that everything like so stressful and give everything like this weighted meaning to it. Instead, like we want to think about how we can really focus on our legacy. And I'm not saying like that this is a bad thing. Like obviously we want to do something important with our lives and have it feel meaningful. But this Three of Cups is a reminder that like actually just like hanging out and chilling with the people that you love, that is meaningful. Like that is important to our legacy and creating those memories and just those little things that add up, because we're not always going to be here and the people we love are not always going to be here. So there's like a real call to be present for the people in our lives. That's really sort of what life is all about. It shouldn't be about, you know, what is this big thing, this one thing that I'm like trying to create, or my life is going to be like worth nothing or meaningless. It's more like it's about the people and the day-to-day things that you did, that you love, that gave you joy and happiness as you are, you know, doing your good work, whatever it is in the world. So I feel like I got like really philosophical in this particular reading compared to the other readings in the past, but this one just had a different energy to it. And I do tend to, when I'm in this part of my PMDD, things feel a lot more philosophical and a lot deeper in a lot of ways, and it's very easy for me to slip into like an existential crisis during that time frame. But this reading I feel like is just, I don't know, it's important for this particular week and where we're at in the year. So it feels like really positive though. So I really hope that you all are able to take the time this week to just really sit back and be proud of how far you've come in life and what you've done. Even if you might be sitting there being like, I haven't really done anything. That's really not true. And you don't have to like feel like you do have to achieve this like big meaningful thing. Like you have a big dream, like totally go for it. But this isn't the week to like fixate on that. Instead, it's really about having some downtime, have a little bit of fun, relax, chill, and just enjoy life, because that's what really makes life meaningful, is the people that you're spending your time with and the little things that give us joy every day. So I hope this reading was helpful, and yeah, just drop me some comments about what you thought, or come back and let me know how your week was, because I always want to hear from you. So have a great week.